Are we recording?
We are.
What's up, folks? You are tuned in to the Failing Frequency. We just rolled in because our energy was up, and I was like, let's go now.
Do we want to say why our energy was up? What magic topic we were on beforehand?
Grand Theft Auto in space. A video game idea. It's $1 million idea I've had. Don't know what we're gonna call it yet, but it's gonna revolve around jam.
Yes. Instead of needing spice to travel the galaxy, you need jam.
Yes.
And it is only found on one planet, and that planet doesn't have sandworms. It has sand bees. Bees.
We are like, this is like so far removed from anything that we're going to discuss today.
This is not the topics.
This is like this bodes well for people who are joining us for the first time. This is what level we are at. You are tuned into the Failing Frequency. I am Ethan.
And I'm Mike.
And if you're wondering why I'm wearing this very jaunty Sherlock Holmes Deer Stalker, well, stay tuned. Because we are here to discuss the latest in Trek news and to discuss the latest episode of Lower Decks, which was kind of no spoilers, but meh.
Skippable, eminently skippable.
Way more shit has happened since then, so we're way more excited about any of that.
And let's say it was definitely our reasoning to film late for Lower Decks, and it wasn't because Mike was I was out of town again.
Whatever. It's all good.
It all worked out perfectly anyway.
But yeah, like I'm saying, we're gonna go through some news. Then we're gonna get to the biggest news stories out of New York Comic Con a few days ago. Which is where my hat will come back into the equation, and then we'll cover whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
But before we get around to that, how you doing, man?
I am exhausted. I'm burnt out. I'm very looking forward to a week or two in my own bed. So
yeah.
How about yourself?
Nice. Good. I met my new therapist last week.
Oh, nice.
And like I say, I had a big family event the other day, and on the bus back, I saw a bunch of crazy news come out of New York Comic Con, and I was tipsy, and I had to keep my cool on the bus, and I failed. But yeah, in general, it's all good.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
So let's get straight into the news, and we'll just knock the first one out because we usually like to do sad news first. Just knock it out.
Sad news. Yeah.
Knock it out. Which is why I'm not gonna lure Mike in with this most recent edition of Shatner Face.
Yeah,
because it is kind of a sad one.
I've noticed, by the way, on the last recording, my arms instantly fold the second Shatner has brought up. Of a whole, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fucking one, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, William Shatner released a new memoir this week titled "Boldly Go: Reflections on a Life of Awe and Wonder." And to plug that bitch, he went on Entertainment Tonight, and did some fucking stupid fluffy piece where he's talking about his kiss that he did with Nichelle Nichols, and honestly, I can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't take him seriously.
No.
It is sad. The man is clearly sad. Basically, in the video, he talks. In this video for Entertainment Tonight, he talks about how his relationship with Leonard Nimoy was at the end of Leonard Nimoy's life, where Leonard Nimoy wouldn't, basically was on his deathbed and just wouldn't take William Shatner's calls. Mm-hmm. And it is sad because they were friends for most of their lives.
But this is the second book he's told about the relationship they had before he died. He did a tell-all book called Nimoy, just about his relationship with Nimoy, And do you know why they weren't friends at the end of Nimoy's life?
Because of that, I'm guessing.
No, because that was after he died. I mean,
Oh,
he
right.
wasn't going to be even more friends with him after he died.
Oh, well, no, definitely.
You know the Shatner documentary Captains, or the Captains? Shatner asked Nimoy to be in it, and Nimoy said no. So Shatner sent someone to record him at Comic-Con and just use that footage. Anyway, and they didn't talk since then. And Shatner's like, I don't know why we're not friends now, or why we weren't friends.
Like, I didn't even know that, right? God, it's hot. This hat is thick. It's wool. So yeah, friggin', like, I didn't even know that story. That's what I was going to say. I didn't even know that story, but I can tell you that, like, the reason why Nimoy wasn't talking to you when he was on his deathbed is because he, for whatever reason, he didn't want to.
Yeah.
And the reason why he didn't want to is because, historically speaking, you're a bit of a knob.
Yeah.
Like, I can't speak as to the true deeper nature of their relationship, but like I've got a couple of friends who are pretty, like, you know, up there and on the fucking narcissist scale. And like, you know, for much of our friendship, I've had to be friends with them in spite of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's fucking tiring. So yeah, no, I don't blame Nimoy. So yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to Shatner for promoting another book of his through the death of his ex-friend.
Yeah, good for you, mate.
Yeah, good work.
Big meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Are you gonna dig in a crack? Is somebody gonna dig in a...
Have we got any better news than that?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Shatner face, that leads into the next story. The Gates McFadden podcast investigates, which is just it's a good name.
Yeah.
Investigates. Who do you think you are? It's been renewed for a second season. Where Gates McFadden, who of course plays Beverly Crusher in Next Generation, interviews other cast members from Star Trek. Next season will include Kate Mulgrew, Anson Mount, Tawny Newsome, Jack Quaid, John Billingsley, and of course, Shatner face himself. I reckon they're going to have an argument. I reckon they're going to get into it.
It is Shatner, so
he's a fucking knob.
Yeah.
And like, if there's one thing that I learned from watching the fucking TNG cast at their fucking Comic-Con panel, it's they're all stinkers, and they are all about that far from having an argument with anyone in the room.
Need Certus to go on a podcast with him and just like chew him out for a couple of decades.
Oh, it'd be so good, wouldn't it?
It did make me laugh.
You fucking what? What'd you fucking say?
Yeah.
You actually turned into a fucking right Guy Ritchie character.
Yeah. Did make me laugh how like her podcast was renewed. Is that what happens to podcasts? Are we up for renewal?
I guess so. I guess so. Well, I mean, like, you know, some people, from what I understand, there are different approaches to making podcasts. Yeah. Like, I've definitely listened to some podcast series that feel as though they were recorded over the space of a few days, and then they've been sparsed out over a few weeks. Yeah. And there are people that meet up and regularly talk about shit, you know, like us, you know, because we do Star Trek, and now, you know, now that Star Trek is back on,
pretty much every week of the year, every year man. From now until we die. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And like, you know, they can't get Gates McFadden to do that.
No.
She couldn't do what we do. But yeah, to paraphrase our shared favorite fucking podcast, it's the scariest time of the year. And I'm not just talking about the American fucking political system.
Oy.
It's fucking... But no, I am, though.
Midterms, isn't it?
It's midterms. I don't understand what the midterms are. No, it's to do with the Senate.
I am the Senate.
Oh, man. Like, honestly, anytime it gets to, like, anything big political in America, I get anxiety.
Yeah.
because it's just because like the internet, like I spend a lot of my life on the internet, and it's already a pretty toxic place. But anytime there's any form of political unrest in the United States, it just gets worse.
Yeah. Filters down over here, and then we still have to live with our own, where I feel like the Americans maybe don't get as much filtering back, or they definitely don't get as much filtering back from the rest of the world.
No. And from what I understand about the American attitude towards the British political system is that they don't get it.
No.
But Star Trek celebrities will be getting together to trek the vote. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
To trek the vote? Are they trekking the vote? They're Star Trekking across the electoral registers.
Yeah. They're doing promos and shit like that to encourage people to go out and vote.
Yeah, man. Well, it's not just that. So this is what I was reading just before we recorded, and like, I think that this is overall a net positive for society. Formed ahead of the 2020 election, Trek Movie reports, Trek the Vote works to provide volunteers with a wide range of partner organizations to support voting rights, improve election transparency, and to help election administrators meet their staffing needs. So if you're a Trekkie who is politically active and does volunteer work, check out Trek the Vote's website, where you'll be treated to this wonderful video with Kate Mulgrew and mostly Voyager folks in varying aspect ratios.
Yeah.
Some are, we've got Tim Russ in a kind of a tight profile. We've got some widescreen with Wang. We've got John Delancey in portrait.
We've got some widescreen Wang.
Yeah, we got some
I thought that was on a
Wang.
different channel I was looking at.
Yeah, man. We mentioned Leonard Nimoy before. And of course, Leonard Nimoy is up there in Stovercore drinking shots out of square shot glasses with sexy Romulan ladies. But before that, it was a weird time. It was the 90s. It was a weird time. Star Trek was alive and well. And here in the UK, they wanted to bring back our own sci-fi institution, Doctor Who. Did you know, Mike, that the 1990s Doctor Who movie, the 1990s Doctor Who movie starring Paul McGann was almost directed by Leonard fucking Nimoy?
Yeah, I saw this today. That, I mean, was an actual director.
Yeah, he was on board. He was on board.
Yeah.
So, Trek Movie reports, Philip Siegel, the producer of the movie, had several meetings with Leonard Nimoy, who wanted to direct it. I met with him at Amblin, and we had wonderful conversations. He was genuinely excited about the possibility. But Fox did not want him to do it. They were concerned it looked very kitsch to go, aren't we clever? We've got Spock from Star Trek directing. Like, I've not seen the interview, so I don't know what intonation he's using, but
yeah,
it kind of sounds like Fox Studio didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah, I can understand them being like, no, let's get it away from another old sci-fi franchise and be like, no, it's cool Doctor Who now. We're appealing to cool people.
Yeah,
but that's the wrong thinking, because Americans weren't watching Doctor Who. It would have been a chance to pull in all the Americans.
Yeah. Hey, Trekkies, you heard about Doctor Who, but you've never seen it because it's like old British TV that was recorded live or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, here's a great fucking opportunity to jump in. Honestly, can you imagine? Oh my god! Imagine if Leonard Nimoy played the Master, as well as directing. Imagine if they got him to play the Master.
Well, that from what I can remember of the whatever was it 96 Doctor Who movie?
Yeah, man.
What year was it? Yeah. The Master is a worm at some point, so
yeah,
you know, hopefully, as well as directing, Nimoy could have
he could have played the worm. He could have been the worm.
He could have been the worm, or
Yeah,
he could have had some influence to not have a worm.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He'd have been like, maybe there doesn't need to be a visual metaphor, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I
Has
don't know
there
if you've
ever been
ever
a worm
seen Star
before?
Trek. I don't know if you've ever seen Star Trek, but we have this thing called a mind meld.
Yeah.
Where like people can do all kinds of crazy shit with their minds, and you don't have to show anything on screen. You instead use like skill and cinematography and good editing and sound design to create a mood.
Yeah.
But that would have been a bit too much directing for the direction.
I don't know who they actually ended up directing it, because you know, for all we know, it's like Steven Spielberg. It won't be Steven Spielberg. For all we know, it's like a
Jeffrey
DC
Sachs.
Jeffrey Sachs. I know the name.
Wait, here we go. According to the producer, Fox would only allow Nimoy to direct if he agreed to play the film's villain, the Master, the Doctor's long-term anniversary. Siegel considered the idea insulting to Nimoy, as that wasn't the object of the exercise. Oh shit! So we're wrong. I'm wrong.
We were halfway there. He was almost playing the worm.
Oh my god! Oh man, he didn't want to play the worm. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Sort of been
good, as the. I know this is in the 90s, so Nimoy wasn't fantastically old, but the old version of the Master who dies at the very start.
Yeah, but would he though? Because what does that version of the Master have? Goatee.
A worm. Oh.
Goatee. And then people would have been like, what is this? The mirror universe?
True. Hadn't even thought of the goatee.
Oh,
yeah, imagine pulling more people in to be like, hey, sci-fi nerds, Leonard Nimoy's in this for like all of 10 minutes. You don't need to say the 10 minutes thing, but you know.
Yeah. But imagine if Leonard Nimoy had have directed that film. Do you think that Doctor Who revival would have happened?
Well, if there'd been more interest in it, then possibly. If there were more bums on seats, because didn't they only not do it because it was expensive and they didn't see it getting return on TV? So maybe if they got more bums on seats watching it, for all we know, we could have had a Doctor Who revival in the 90s before, a real one before.
I'm just trying to think of like
2000.
Like, I don't know. I'm thinking because like there's parts of the Doctor Who movie that kind of remind me of like the Highlander TV show.
So there are lightning effects. You know, that 90s lightning effect that's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's that.
And like everyone's got like really baggy trousers, like really baggy suit trousers.
Yeah.
Really baggy. What's the word? Slacks. Everyone's wearing baggy slacks.
Yeah.
Pulled right up, baggy shirts.
Paul McGann's a hell of a doctor, though.
Yeah, definitely. But I could definitely see like, you know, with Nimoy behind it, maybe we would have got a bit more attention. Maybe we would have got something akin to Highlander, and then maybe like more Star Trek people. Like, and then when it's rebooted again,
get Frakes
in, yeah. Friggin', or like, you know, have David. Maybe we could have had David Tennant and Leonard Nimoy on screen together.
Well, not if he was playing the old Master who died instantly. Although I suppose here's me saying it doesn't make sense in like
could have played the old Master.
Yeah.
We couldn't have given him the goatee.
But like, here's me saying it wouldn't make sense time-wise anyway. Like, Capaldi's doctor had two masters. He had against him at one point a weird ghost man, Doctor and Missy. You know,
Yeah, man.
so what am I talking about? It doesn't make sense timeline-wise on fucking Doctor Who.
No, exactly. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, all that. But yeah, man, that's another one for the multiverse.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Somewhere out there in the multiverse, there is a fucking Leonard Nimoy directed Doctor Who movie. God damn it.
Yeah.
Hit
me with more news. I want more news.
So we mentioned a little while ago that Kate Mulgrew. Oh, is it that? Oh, we're after 8.
We're after 8. Mike gets to eat his after 8s.
Yes, he's no longer in breach of contract with the After 8 company.
I have to sign something on the receipt and everything.
A little while ago, mentioned Janeway. I nearly called her Janeway. That Kate Mulgrew had said in a live panel Q&A that there had been talks, there had been stirrings, there had been conversations about the possibility of a Star Trek Janeway series. Now, at the time when we talked about it, neither of us were very...
I thought she could come back in the end of Picard too.
I thought she was straight talking bollocks. Like,
she does like to do that in an interview, doesn't she?
She does. Yeah. She doesn't give a fuck. Like, I love Kate Mulgrew. She will just say whatever. But yeah, so like she mentioned that there'd been discussions about a Janeway series, and we were like, nah, I'm not entirely buying it. However, Kurtzman has come out. Alex Kurtzman, the Kevin Feige of Star Trek, if you will, has come out with an equally lukewarm response, saying, right, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Here's a quote. Here's what I'm going to say. Things have been talked about.
Well, it wasn't just that, was it? Have you got... Was there a rest of the quote?
We've got a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of discussion about the philosophy of how much, you know, things have to align. They have to.
Yeah, but there was one I saw, and it said it certainly needs to be. We're certainly thinking if she does return, it's sooner rather than later. It's not going to be 10 years down the track. And you go, yeah. I didn't expect it to be 10 years down the track for Kate Mulgrew, really.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so first Mulgrew says that there's been talks, and now Alex Kurtzman has said that there have been talks. So I think it's double confirmed that there have been talks. How does that make you feel?
I still think it's going to be in Picard season 3 or whatever Picard season 3 spins off into. Like, if it's a 7 of 9 and Raffi show, then she can pop up there once in a while. I don't think it's going to be a full show that is Janeway again. No.
I think I'd be a lot more interested in seeing like you say, a 7 of 9 show where, like, I don't know, in my head I'm picturing like Stargate SG-1 and Janeway's like Colonel Hammond.
Yeah. Makes more sense that way anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, it'd probably be more like X-Files, where she'd be like the director.
Skinner,
and like Skinner. And like,
she's going to be a bald man, whatever it takes.
Yeah, either way, like she needs to be a bald man, with or without a shirt with epaulets.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, it's Star Trek, so she's probably going to have something like epaulets. Little taste of some more news out of New York Comic Con 2022. Pretty much all the exciting stuff from Comic Con 2022 has, for me anyway, been Star Trek. I haven't really noticed much else.
I don't think the is the MCU or DC actually there.
I don't know. I guess not.
I know MCU comic stuff came out a day after Star Trek. You know, their big chunk.
Well,
So
cool. Speaking of comics, we've got some Star Trek comics. One that I'm actually excited for the first time since all of these comics have been announced. Star Trek Defiant, by Chris Cantwell and I'm gonna say Angel Unzueta, from IDW. This looks good.
So this is, I've got a part of synopsis here. So after falling out with Captain.
Oh, good. Like you got the synopsis up because I've just sorry, I was just saying it's good that you're reading the synopsis because I'm just looking at the pictures.
Well, I'm reading it out and saying Captain Benjamin Sisko during his mission aboard the USS Thesis, which is a different comic. So this seems to be a companion comic.
Oh, a spin-off to that other comic. You were really excited to read it, weren't you?
Yeah, and I haven't as of yet. That's the Sisko comes back from the Celestial Temple and recruits Beverly Crusher, Data, and some other dude to do stuff. This is like a companion one. So Worf handpicks a crew for a mission that includes B'Elanna Torres, Spock, Ro Laren, and Lore.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, man, there's this picture here. They're all in like covert ops shit. Fucking Worf is wearing a covert ops variant of a Klingon baldric.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Do you reckon he just does the Captain America and just like spray paints it a different color before a mission?
Oh no, this one's tactical. This one has a pouch.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They've had
it is comics after all.
Yes, it is comics. Pouches. It's got a pouch. They've had Rob Liefeld in to design the new uniforms. No, I am genuinely excited. And honestly, just because of the artwork, like I'm really digging this other cover. Like the like it's Worf's head, like, and it's very like like it's. Ugh. But the background, the like the cool Klingon artwork in the background is it's cool.
Yeah.
I really dig it. It's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a cross between like Hindi meets Celtic knots. Like I dig it.
Yeah.
Man.
And at some point I need to read, because I presume the one with Sisko's already out, or some of it's already out. So I'll catch up at some point, you know.
I've just what did I just yeah. Oh well, what do you know? It's not a it's not a good Star Trek spin-off unless someone's stealing a starship. Yep, Worf steals the Defiant.
Oh yeah. How defiant of him. It's like the thing, the name.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, you might be a genius.
Yeah.
Last cheeky bit of news. Cheeky bit of Star Trek Online news. Every year, they do this every year. Star Trek Online do a special Halloween event. And that's about to start. On October the 13th, Cat's Tale will be back online on Star Trek Online, where you'll be able to take part in the special event. You play over a certain amount of days, you get a prize. You get a little cat who's your friend. You get like a special device for your ship. And it's dead silly. And anyone who plays Star Trek Online, I recommend you go take part in it because it's really silly.
So is this a repeat event? Because I could see news stories of it being last year. Okay.
Yeah, it is a repeat event, but it's one of my favorite events that they do on Star Trek Online because it's one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek overall, and because it's my favorite time of year. I love Halloween. I love spooky shit. I love weird Celtic pagan nonsense. You know, I'm thinking I think I might take mushrooms this year for Halloween. Celebrate a good wild Samhain with some of my old hippie friends. But yeah, that just to lead us in. Me and before we started recording, me and Mike were discussing in a couple of weeks. Little, we want to maybe go through some recommendations of some Halloween. Well, not Halloween themed episodes because there's only one. But some scary episodes of Star Trek. So maybe this is just fresh off the top of my head. Let's get some fucking audience engagement. Maybe comment in the shit down in our underpants. What are some actually scary moments in Star Trek? Some really scary episodes. We're both gonna
hide behind the couch when you were young.
Yeah. Is it jump scary things? Is it scary monster? Or is it a deep underlying existential dread about the meaninglessness of human existence in a vast, uncaring universe?
Oh, Christ.
So yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
What's your favorite scary episode of Star Trek? And maybe it'll come up in our recommendations.
Definitely. So that'll be a couple of weeks away. We've got 2 more Lower Decks, and then we can do Spooky Times.
Yeah, man, it's maybe a bit early to be mentioning it, but like I say, Halloween is my favorite time of year, and I usually start planning Halloween way in advance. I already got a tunic for my witch costume.
For your witch costume?
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. Not for the pod, just for Halloween. I might get my Klingon shit out for this.
But if we commit to dressing up, I'll get something to dress up as well, rather than just a Trek t-shirt.
But that's it for that's not it for the news. Like we say, fucking Star Trek basically fucking like dicked on everyone at Comic-Con. Which is a rare win for Star Trek,
Yeah.
But that's the fluff. How do you feel about all that fluff?
Fluff, fine. Nothing amazing for me. The most interesting part for me was the comic. I think.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I could take or leave.
Oh man, I'm still like picturing Leonard Nimoy as the master in them big robes.
Yeah.
Sticking Paul McCann in the eyes open thing, in the Clockwork Orange thing. Would have been sick.
Yeah. Fun. But the big part of the Comic-Con for Trek was we got 3 trailers and panel with 3 different shows on. We got Picard, we got Discovery, and we got Prodigy. What order do you want to hit them? Do you want to hit them best to worst or worst to best?
I say we go. We go in order of what I think the budgets are. So I think Prodigy, he probably has the smallest budget, and then Discovery, and then Picard, I reckon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then let's talk Picard then. We got what was listed as...
wait, you want to go Picard first?
Sorry. Okay, let's go the other way around then.
Gosh, you were all about starting on a high note tonight.
I know.
Mike wanted to start the episode with the trailers, and I was like, no way, man. The trailers are the biggest story.
I only have so much energy.
Picard is the biggest trailer of the trailers.
I forgot to say again, there are time codes. So if you've managed to get to this point in the episode, there are time codes. A, if you want to skip back to the news, or B, there's going to be some spoiler stuff in this that, picked out of trailers. If you just want to skip forward to us talking about a a bog standard episode of Lower Decks, then please do. Let's say. So let's talk Prodigy first then.
Yeah, man.
So this is the trailer. They had the trailer for the second half of season 1.
Mid-season teaser trailer.
It's only how long?
Mid-season.
Yeah. Mid-season my arse. This is season 2.
This is season 3. Get fucked. This is season 3.
Season 1 was nearly a year ago. You can't.
Oh my god, that's not true.
Yeah,
that season. The first episode of this show aired 10 years ago.
it was a long time ago. In a galaxy, unfortunately, a bit closer than that.
God, that was only a year ago. Fuck.
Yeah. And it was announced, 2020. So we are a fair bit into Prodigy's run now, or you'd think so.
Yeah, man. We've certainly. It's definitely been It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah,
we've been some places with these fucking kids.
Yeah. In fact, it'll be a year and 1 week exactly by the date it comes out, by this new season, new half season. Since when the first season started airing. That is a new season. Yeah. There was a nice thematic knot at the end of the first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
season.
definitely. 100%. 100%. The thematic knot. They ended the season where they began. That's Hero's Journey. Joseph Campbell.
Yeah. And there was this is going to be what the next season is. This is the twist. This is the what, So I don't get it. Especially when Lower Decks, they're happy to call 10 episodes as a season. And Prodigy, they're like, we produced all 10 episodes. And then it feels like an assistant whispered in the back of their ear, you were supposed to do 20.
Wait a minute.
We'll do another 20.
Wait a minute. Sorry. So you just reminded me. Lower Decks is only 10 episodes long, isn't it?
Lower Decks has done 10 episodes every season.
But what is Lower Decks emulating outside of Star Trek? What else is Lower Decks aping?
Rick and Morty.
How many episodes in a season?
Is it about 10 then?
It's about 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Right? What's
Clone Wars? Maybe I can see where
how many episodes in a season? 22.
20? Okay.
22 episodes in almost every season, except then you get to the Lost missions, the final season. It's 13, 12. Yeah, so that's what they're going for. They're wanting to meet shit like that. Let's have a look at Rebels, which is what I always call this show anyway, Star Trek Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. They're trying to match Clone Wars and Rebels.
More fool them, those fools. So anyway, we got a trailer for this second half of a season.
Ridiculous.
With characters that I had to relook up the names for. And we got a season description, or a second half of a season description. I should just call this season
Rock.
5. Rock. The one that looks like a rock is called Rock. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yes. I think one of them's called Janeway, but who knows? Yeah. So, in the remaining Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 episodes, a hopeful crew makes their way towards Starfleet. Their dreams are threatened when they discover the USS Protostar harbors a weapon designed to tear the Federation of planets apart. To make matters worse, the USS Dauntless is on a manhunt for the Protostar, as the real Vice Admiral Janeway is eager to uncover what happened to her missing former First Officer Chakotay. With these two ships on a collision course and destruction on the horizon, the fate of the Alpha Quadrant hangs in the balance. Woo!
Whoa!
Whoa!
I mean, obviously, very excited about it.
I did really like the first half of the first season.
Absolutely. Obviously, we know that we're getting the outrageous Akona. But this trailer also has the fucking donkey balls shit fucking reveal of motherfucking Captain Jellicoe in this. How do you feel about getting some fucking Jellicoe in this bitch?
We know he's an admiral at this point from Lower Decks or whatever. Yeah,
man, he's the fucking hardest working man in Starfleet. He's as far as I know, his head is the most firmly screwed onto his shoulders of anyone we've seen in Star Trek.
Yeah, and there's plenty of videos around, where Jellicoe isn't a dick. He's just like he's whipping the crew into order. So I don't think we need to cover that too much because and Deanna should have been wearing a uniform from episode 1.
100%. Yeah, man, it was inappropriate.
Yeah.
If you think Jellicoe was a dick, then you must also think Sam the Eagle was a dick.
Yeah.
John Watson. So I've got Sherlock Holmes on the brain. I wonder why. I'm excited about it. Although, I've got to say, if
I don't think that likeness looks like him.
No,
no, that's what you're gonna say.
No, but if Starfleet is after the Protostar, surely that's going to be. Surely they get him if Jellicoe's. But I'm guessing maybe Jellicoe isn't after them. He's sending Janeway to go get them because if Jellicoe was on the case, I feel like Jellicoe would get the Protostar.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jellicoe's going to come in at the end, like Thanos.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah. I'm going to get Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Omega Shift on this,
Oh, you are fucked with all 4 of them on.
Yeah. So we know as well he's on, he's not a one and done episode man. He's a recurring role, apparently, in season 1.5, let's call it.
Mm-hmm. So what is this threat that the Protostar has? I think we were talking about it a little while ago. I think we were talking about it maybe being like a virus or something, because they can't let Voyager establish communications with them.
Yeah. From what I remember at the end of season 1 to 1.5, there was a bomb on top in the Protostar of some sort that was going to wipe out the whole history of the Federation. So it was going to blow up Earth, but it was going to be possibly a time bomb and just wipe them back to, so they didn't exist.
I see. I thought that was more like hyperbole. Like when someone says I'm gonna knock you into next week.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. They're not gonna actually. You're gonna punch me through time. No, I think it's, it's a metaphor. You're gonna wake up next week.
No, but there was time travel, and the whole thing of the guy from Fringe, whatever his name is. The main bad guy from
Leonard Nimoy.
Prodigy. No, the other one from Fringe.
Not Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
The voice actor.
The voice actor from Scarecrow.
The puppet master from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. His main thing was trying to, because there's time travel already in the story that is overly complicated and not explained.
Best episode of Prodigy, in my opinion, was that time loop episode.
No, not the time loop, because this is what is outrageously confusing about Prodigy. The ship, the Prodigy, was sent out by Janeway with Chakotay on. It goes to a planet. It fucks up that planet. A guy from that planet travels back in time, takes the Prodigy, still after it's fucked up the planet. So Chakotay's been missing in that time loop or whatever for 30 years. It's barely explained in the actual episodes.
When was any of that explained? What are you talking about?
No,
What are you talking about?
From memory, that is what happened in the first season, and now he wants to have a bomb on Earth.
I thought the Protostar was what Chakotay was saying. No, they sent the Protostar to get Chakotay.
No, Chakotay was on the Protostar. but it got embedded in Tars, whatever, that prison planet, because it traveled through time or whatever.
Right.
As well.
Okay. So
he, from my understanding, he's the potential risk to the Federation.
Oh my God, maybe Chakotay's been dead for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
In which case, Janeway's mission to find Chakotay is going to be a bit counterproductive, isn't it?
Oh no! Like I was thinking, like maybe Chakotay was doing like some like cool, like, you know, walk the earth type shit.
Yeah, it would make sense for his character more than doing this.
Yeah, man.
Stuff
like roaming the galaxy, like Kane in Kung Fu.
Yeah, there's nothing Chakotay likes more than an episode where he goes native on a planet. You know?
Yeah, man.
He just joins in someone's war because.
Well, I mean, he's a fake ass Native American. His character is Native American, but he's played by a Mexican man, and he was written by a fake Native American.
Yeah.
And so maybe he's doing other fake Native American shit, like going way too hard on Native American culture, and like he's been in a sweat lodge for 3 weeks, paying thousands of dollars to have leaves wafted at him.
The Protostar anyway has a virus, has a bomb, has something. So if it contacts a Federation ship, it's supposed to wipe out the Federation. That being said, in this trailer, we see the kids talking to members of the actual Federation. Someone who looked like a Cardassian to me, like a science uniform Cardassian.
Cool.
And they're like, oh, they gave you kids a ship? And they're like, no, we stole it. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, so you can talk to some of the Federation.
Yeah.
As you say, there's the outrageous O'Connor we see in the background. There's a Borg cube, so that these kids are going to run into the Borg and have to deal with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're on as far as I understand, they're on like they're close to the Alpha Quadrant, like side of the Delta Quadrant, right?
Yeah,
because like Derek, he's a Tellarite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think it was originally supposed to be further away, but then they wanted like Tellarites and stuff like that in it. And it's like, doesn't make much sense, but they're on a ship that goes in, outrageously fast anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
They had a space skydive a la Trek 2009 in the trailer.
And also the tribute to Trek 2009 that was in a recent episode of Star Trek Lower Decks.
There's a lot of... I think 09 has like set in people's mind that Star Trek has like skydives in it. Because Discovery, for the first few seasons, had skydive in. Into Darkness had a skydive of sorts in it.
Yes, it did.
I don't know where skydiving came into this.
It's a new thing.
Franchise.
It's a new tradition.
Yeah.
It's a new tradition. It's like I just learned I had a family do the other week on Saturday, and I worked out that like over the past 2 generations in my family, beatboxing has weirdly become a strange family tradition that like a surprising amount of my family can do. There's me, my brother, my cousins, their kids, all beatboxing at this party.
Boom. Like at the same skill as your rapping before.
Yeah, we're all like, it's like my family and beatboxing, Star Trek and skydiving. It's about building new traditions.
Yeah. What else did we add? We had interviews, at New York Comic Con. Jamelia Jamal from Good Place and from Jamil, sorry, yeah.
Oh, she's in this.
Yeah, so she's the ensign on Janeway's ship. And the only thing I have to say about it, other than it's weird having her interview when she hasn't appeared and said anything yet, or she's appeared in the background and that's it. Her character has red boots compared to everyone else on the Voyager ship, which makes me go...
Jamil is a style icon.
I have got written here, interview Jamil, style icon.
That's funny.
Yeah, because I was just like, she's in all these interviews wearing big glasses. This outrageous thing. Next to poor little dude, the kid who plays Daj or Dal.
I need to find this. I want to see the shot. I want to see if Jamil, like, because in my head I'm thinking like she's doing lines and there's a picture of her character up and she's like, cool, but the boots are going to be red though, right?
Yeah, I need red boots.
Those boots are supposed to be red. You meant to make those boots red though, right? Because they're supposed to be red.
I'm stylish. I need different boots.
You wouldn't make the choice to not put red boots with that outfit, surely, would you?
Yeah, it just made me laugh. I was like, why is her character in different clothes? And then watching the interviews later, I was like, of course her character's in different clothes.
I need to see the shot of her in red boots. I want to know if she's right. Yeah, no, she's right. She's right about those boots. That's definitely,
I'm like,
yeah.
Of course, of course you're wearing different colored
boots.
boots.
You see, that's like I often feel when playing Space Barbie on Star Trek Online. If I'm doing their uniforms, sometimes I do feel like, man, there's just too much that color and then that color.
And then that color. You need to break it up,
Absolutely. And she's right. She's
of course, style icon.
Hey man, so like what time is this set in?
It's set after Lower Decks. Is it set after Picard? It is set. I think it's set after Picard as well.
I think it's got to be before because, like, Vice Admiral Janeway looks younger than Janeway does now.
Yeah.
I mean, Kate Mulgrew does now.
Yeah, but they did the same for Ronnie Cox as well. Ronnie Cox looks like he's, the Crypt Keeper now. And
but like, oh man, you gotta watch House of the Dragon. Paddy Considine, oh man, he looks. He's so good.
Okay, it must be about 17 years before Star Trek Picard. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, this is where Star Wars has us beat because they have BBYs and shit.
So I know Star Trek Picard season 2 happens just at the turn of the millennium for them, or not the millennium, the 100 years, so 2400. But this is Prodigy season 1 apparently is set 2383. But there's also, as I say, that time loop where Chakotay has been out there for 30 years or whatever as well. The ship has been locked in Tars Magol for 30 years. It is also set, parts of it, after Picard. So it is set before and after Picard.
Right. God damn it.
Yeah. Specifically, everything we see with the young characters is set before Picard.
Right. So, what's the likelihood of Jamila Jamil's character being in our dream Star Trek SG-1 featuring Seven of Nine and Janeway?
There's one slight problem. And it is that her character in Prodigy is whiter than white, blue-eyed.
Eesh.
So unlike Lower Decks, where they modeled the characters on the people, I would say that didn't happen with Ensign Ascensia. And that doesn't mean that she can't be in Trek, but
no, but it does mean that there is definitely a whole full-on I had this whole thing with these kids had this ship that we needed. It was like 15 years ago. I was white. I'm Pakistani now. Don't worry about it.
I mean, she does play she does play a trill, so she could play a different version of her in the, a different joining of her in the future.
That would actually be
weird,
very. I think that would be very cool. She's probably doing an American accent in this because the American production companies just love it when British actors do an American accent, whether whether it's good or not, they just love it.
Yeah.
I love that bit. She's like, "Who are those kids?"
Yeah.
It's the Bad Batch.
Yeah. There was a lot of, in the trailer as well, there's a lot of lines that are just for the trailer or that are picked specially for the trailer where it's like, I understand everything now, or I remember everything. And you go like,
yeah, man.
Yep, trailer, man. Good work. Good work, writers, writing for a trailer as well. Right. Do you have anything more on Star Trek Prodigy? Because other than me having to research the actual timeline before it starts up again, let's call me done on that.
I'm gonna have to rewatch all of it.
I'll put a link in the description. Let's say there is a site that I read that has the full timeline. So that was my research for it when it was airing the first half of this first season. But yeah, I was a confused boy then, and I'm a confused boy now. But let's move on to Disco. Let's say Star Trek Discovery, season 5 trailer. So season description: Captain Burnham and the crew of the USS Discovery uncover a mystery that sends them on an epic adventure across the galaxy to find an ancient power whose very existence has been deliberately hidden for centuries. But there are others on the hunt as well. Dangerous foes who are desperate to claim the prize for themselves, who will stop at nothing to get it. This is the leaked.
So it's in Section 31.
Well,
Section 31 going after the big cosmic vacuum from last season.
Well, potentially not, because we get new cast announcements as well. I'll go on to them, but this is the leaked season description we were talking about last week when we this can't be it. This is the same. This is the same again. You're finding an ancient power. Yeah,
man.
You do that every season.
Oh, we found the time crystals again.
Yeah.
Can you remember the fucking answer to the riddle?
Oh, the Red Angel. Who is the Red Angel? The Red Angel is partially your mum, but partially you.
But it's been hidden for years.
It's been hidden for years, but also hasn't happened yet, but also will be in the future. Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. So it's another season of Discovery. That being said, not damage control, let's say. Let's not. I don't want to beat up on something I haven't seen yet, and we haven't seen season 5. It feels like we have, but we haven't. There was a lot of preemptive. No, we've gone for a completely different tone than the last couple of seasons. The last season was sad and depressive or depressing. What we're doing this time, it's like Indiana Jones, and they keep saying Indiana Jones in every interview they do.
I'm not being funny around, but Disco has always been fairly Indiana Jonesy. I go back to the time crystals again.
Yeah.
Boreth,
Yeah.
very Indiana Jonesy. We were in a bar in a foreign land last episode. Oh wait, do they mean that maybe there's going to be a hat? Is there going to be a
Possibly
hat this season?
Michael is just going to constantly drop her hat and have to pick it up.
Oh my god, I actually would love that.
Yeah.
Let's fly. Wait, where am I? Not a Sherlock Holmes hat, but a fedora. But let's fly.
Let's fly. So let's do the cast announcements as well.
Yes.
So Callum Keith Rennie joins the cast as a regular. He's Captain Rayner. He's got pictures up at the moment, but he's got the Vulcan or Romulan or that sort of ear.
He's got some pointy ears going on.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm calling it right now, just because just going by the general audience reaction to Anson Mount, and to Lorca, there's going to be so much daddy thirst for this man.
Probably.
When this series comes out, there's just going to be so... This man is about to experience a level of audience horniness that he could not comprehend.
Yeah.
He's from Sunderland. He was born in Sunderland, raised in Alberta, Canada.
A man of the world.
Yeah, man. He was in Memento. He was in The Man in the High Castle. I saw that he was in the Umbrella Academy. Leicester Pocket.
He was in Battlestar, I know. He was in,
Oh, yeah. No, he is good. He's very good.
Yeah. So, as the description to him, he is a gruff, smart captain who holds a clear line between commander and crew. He's all about the mission, doesn't do niceties. He's got a record of wartime success. Collaboration's not his strong suit. And he's more about getting stuff done and apologizing later. So I reckon every season of Discovery.
Oh God!
What was he in?
He was in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
of course he was.
Yeah. So I reckon anyway.
What were you saying? What did you just say?
I reckon like Michael every season has to have like someone to butt heads with. So it went from
I don't know,
Lorca to Pike to Vance to the president. I reckon this is the person she's butting heads with.
But what kind of button heads are we talking? Because like,
well, if the character description is he has a clear line between command and crew, and he doesn't do the niceties. What is there a clear line between command and crew in the Discovery other than screen presence?
No.
You know, so it'll be no. You've got to be a happy family. Like, no, I'm not a happy family.
You see, the thing that I'm my mind lingers on. He would rather beg for an apology rather than ask for permission, kind of thing. That's very Michael Burnham.
Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be like a look.
But they did that. They did last season. Book going off to do the most dangerous mission in the world. That would have been something that Michael season 2 would have done. Season 1, season 2. So there has been like character development there. And I wonder if they're just going to try and say, no, Michael now doesn't go off and do what she wants and just ask for apologies or try and get apologies through.
Maybe he's going to be a bad influence.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'm looking at this picture of him right now, and I'm telling you, he's giving like smolder.
He's influencing you.
He's definitely influencing me. Like he's giving like a. He's leant over the table. He's got his top button unpopped. He looks like he could rope some people into some shit.
Do you want to know what my other call with him is? Can you remember? And you probably will because it's a good episode. TNG, Who Watches the Watchers? The proto-Romulans on the planet who discover. Yes. I think he's going to be of that race.
Reason.
Because
that's what they're all about. They're not about logic, they're about reason, which is different, but in subtle but very beautiful ways, know?
And I think it would be nice to go back to them because Picard is like, I have no doubt in a couple 100 years you'll be like spacefaring and up there and all that.
Hell yeah.
This goes a good show to do. Go back to them, really. So I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll throw your hat in the ring to say.
Hell yeah, yeah! I've got a couple of flat caps laying around. You can throw them in the ring. What was the name of that planet? Mintaka.
Mintaka. Oh, I'm miles off then.
Yeah, no, almost none of those letters were the same.
Is
yeah,
that
the
him
Mintarkin.
then?
Maybe he is Mintarkin. That's a
I've
good.
gone
That's
spaceman.
that's a good. Yeah, man. Throw that hat in the ring. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Call that.
Yeah,
Mike
I'll call
Smart
that.
of the Failing Frequency is calling that this man is a Mintarkin,
Mintaken.
and I bet he is reasonable. I always like that about them. Like that's
Yeah.
you know that whole speech of like in 1,000 years time, maybe you'll be in space like us. And wait, no, it's the other way around. He's like, long ago we didn't have ships like this. We had ships like yours. So isn't it reasonable to assume that I love that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a culture.
How do you hunt a solid back or whatever? It's like, oh, we use a bow and arrow. And how would you explain that to your great ancestors? And we'd show them the bow and arrow. And it's like, to them, they've never seen a bow and arrow. Exactly. It's magic to them.
So it's reasonable to assume that to them, you would be as heavenly as we are to you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fantastic episode. Like a real gold star episode. We also had 2 other characters, descriptions and announcements, who were Mol, a former courier turned outlaw, who's pretty much seems like a drug smuggler, I would read the full description, but pretty much a drug smuggler or whatever.
Well, carry on.
And her partner, Laak, another former courier turned outlaw, who's seems to be the partner of Mol. So Mol and Laak.
Yeah.
Saved by Eve, Harrow, and Elias.
You just read some of the descriptions. I just want to read you the 2 descriptions that I've got here on trekcore.com.
Yeah.
Mol, a former courier turned outlaw who is highly intelligent and dangerous with an impressive strategic mind and sharp wit. And then Laak, a former courier turned outlaw who is tough, impulsive, and fiercely protective of his beloved partner Mol.
They didn't have a thesaurus on hand that day. Yeah.
I would say they're the same character, but one is a human-looking girl, and the other looks like the guy from Babylon 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks like fucking Nan.
Okay, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Other parts from the trailer. It looks like Michael is going to stand on top of the ship somehow as it goes to warp, which is something that is in Lower Decks this week.
Yeah.
And there's also we saw before promo images for this season coming up of Discovery, Michael on hoverbike, which is in next week's or this week's Lower Decks. So that there seems to be a lot of inter-show references at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yes. A lot of brand recognition going on. Almost like I guess maybe after the whole fiasco of Star Trek Day, maybe someone at Paramount has gone, you know what, guys, maybe we should do like market. I think it's called marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing.
I'm still of the opinion Star Trek maybe shouldn't have as big a presence at Comic-Con and should do, instead of doing Star Trek Day and then 2 or 3 weeks later they do, we're on Comic-Con and here's all the trailers. You have to do one or the other. And you can still do all the comic stuff at Comic-Con, but maybe do all the show stuff at Star Trek Day.
You know what? Do you know what would be really cool for Star Trek Day? Specials.
Werewolf by Night, but
short trek.
Yeah.
A Werewolf by Night short trek where a man turns into a werewolf on a spaceship.
They could do. I know Strange New Worlds is kind of doing this, but a show filmed on a short trek filmed as it was like TOS. Just bring in like a proper camera that is film.
Yeah.
Do the sets so they are incredibly cheap. do lighting, do all that stuff. You know,
that'd be so cool.
Hmm.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
they could get the guys that made the Star Trek Continues.
Yeah,
they could film it in their set.
Yeah, why not?
Pay them. That guy's probably not getting that much money as a.
He's probably out on the street begging anyway.
Yeah,
so.
he's probably out on the street doing his Elvis Presley impression. He was in a. Oh wait, no, it got taken over by a different guy, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Disco season 5?
No, man. Same uniforms.
Oh yeah.
Same uniforms.
They don't change up.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's a fine.
I like that uniform. I like that uniform.
It's a bit asymmetrical for me, you know, including the cut at the bottom, but I don't care too much.
Yeah.
I'm always hopeful for a new season coming up, and never want to prejudge a season based on its old seasons.
Absolutely.
Talking of which, let's go on to Picard season 3.
Hey, speaking of old,
yeah,
this is definitely an old season.
Speaking of people next to the grave.
Speaking of Picard.
Yeah. So, trailer for Picard. In fact, I should have said Prodigy was out. I've got an air date for that, 28th of October. Yes. Picard air date is Feb 16th.
When's Disco out?
Disco, I don't think there's a date on it. It's just 23. So it's Prodigy, Picard, Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this trailer's full of reveals, isn't
it?
Oh
my God, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, so I was on the bus back from that family do, and it was pretty heavily packed. Like I was sat directly next to someone, and I watched that trailer, and I was doing a pretty poor job of containing my excitement. The people that could see me on the bus probably thought that I was reading some pretty distressing news on my phone.
Yeah. It was either going to be that or the person next to you.
Fucking episode.
The person next to you was wondering why you had a massive erection on the bus.
Oh, full on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So some of the let's do the reveals as we go. Let's say so. We got our first look at the bad guy for the season, which is Vadik, I think the name is.
Yeah, man. Played by Honey Bunny.
Amanda Plummer.
Honey Bunny.
Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter, I didn't know until publicized with this. The daughter of Chris Plummer, Christopher Plummer. Of course, you know, Trek alum.
Absolutely. Playing another, iconic Trek villain.
Yeah.
No pressure, Amanda.
Yeah. I was trying to pick out what race she was supposed to be, as in alien race species. Greasy, yeah.
This is a greasy one.
Yeah. She doesn't have pointy ears. She doesn't look Romulan. She doesn't look anything like that.
She looks kind of balding.
Yeah.
Not bald, balding.
Which threw out my maybe she's Seela's other daughter theory. Doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Oh, not Seela. Tasha's other daughter. Doesn't look like it. We heard from, we heard Worf. So we heard a load of people talking in. Let's do big reveals till last, maybe. We heard Worf saying he prefers pacifism to combat now.
I know. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. He's still got his Maclef on him when we see them swing that round, and he's going to fight Raffi. So willing to fight, but maybe less willing to kill.
There's the bit of the thing which is like, I'm a pacifist. Oh shit, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Who will get the shit beaten out of them to prove how strong the enemy is?
Whoa.
Who will get hit by random stray barrels?
Yeah.
If Worf won't fight, we are doomed.
Yeah. I saw some people as well being like, oh, they've injected comedy into Worf, or this doesn't feel like a natural trajectory for the character turning to pacifism. I'm like, were you not watching the show where in TNG early seasons and pretty much all the way through TNG, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna. Should we launch torpedoes? Should we do this?" And then in DS9, he's a lot more measured. Did you not watch that? And then did you not watch all the comedy bits Worf had, like "nice house" or "good tea, nice house," stuff like that?
One of my favorite moments in all of Star Trek.
Yeah,
that's the one lesson that Worf learned over and over and over again was how to use his head and not use his head.
Yeah.
And he when he wasn't doing that, he was being comic relief.
Yeah. Or wanting to commit suicide. Or being a bad father. Those were the three things Worf did. Yeah. We see some Geordie and hear from some Geordie.
Yeah, man. His kids. He's got his kids.
Two kids.
Man. His kids playing one of his kids, and some other chick is playing the other one.
Ashley Chestnut.
That's a great name, Ashley Chestnut.
But we know one of them is on the helm of probably the Titan by the look of it. We know Bev is doing Bev Crusher's doing Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
She looks frozen at one point. Cool, why not? Then it's the cast that we've heard about before. And then do we want to do the big reveals?
Yeah, let's do the big reveal. I'm so excited.
Well, which do you think is the big reveal? Let's do the.
So I know what I think is the big reveal.
Okay.
And I want to say it. I can't wait.
Okay,
you fucking go. Moriarty's back, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Moriarty. Fuck yes. Moriarty is.
He's back, baby.
One of our. We've definitely mentioned him on the Failing Frequency or on the Mated show at some point. One of the all-time great loose threads of Star Trek is what happened to the Moriarty program, because there's no fucking way that program just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
It's so if anyone doesn't remember, the Moriarty program was created by the Enterprise computer. He's an artificial intelligence that was designed with the parameters of being able to devise a scheme that could defeat Data. Data obviously being hyper intelligent, positronic brain, genius level android. So the Enterprise computer created an equally, if not more, genius artificial intelligence than Data's in the form of Professor James Moriarty, the all-time villain of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. And the last time we saw him, Picard had tricked him into thinking he was free when really he was just in a little computer program box.
Yep. There's all honestly the that Moriarty, the what I love about that Moriarty is, one, I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan, and Moriarty is hardly in Sherlock Holmes. He's in one story really, and then he's talked about in others. But he is presented as being the all-time great villain of Sherlock Holmes. He's not. But in the story that he's actually in, like at the start of the story, Sherlock Holmes says, there's this guy, James Moriarty. I've been following his shit for years. Yeah. Like, this guy has always been in the background while I've been sat doing fucking cocaine and shit. I've been cutting out news stories that are loosely connected to Moriarty. So, like, Moriarty's barely in Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
This is the best depiction of Moriarty that has ever been put to film. Is the version of Moriarty that is in Star Trek.
Yeah.
He's the most in-depth. And at that point, the reason why he's the best version of Moriarty kind of then very quickly goes outside of Sherlock Holmes, because the other reason why he's the best depiction of Moriarty has nothing to do with him being Moriarty and everything to do with him being an artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's his episodes are a really good exploration of, like, you know, I think, therefore I am, you know, which he quotes in that episode. And then the whole thing of, like, I'm sorry, we don't know what to do with you. But we promise we will do something about you. And then to leave that thread hanging for 30 odd years. And
he's not even a villain when you think of it. All he wants is freedom.
Yeah.
He's imprisoned he's a sentient being for all regards. We know he's, you know, made of light and force fields.
Yeah.
But he's a sentient being, and he's just imprisoned in this room that is for others' amusement. And they can turn him off and on like a light bulb. Of course he wants to escape.
Yeah.
He's the hero of that story.
Not only is he a sentient being, though, he is a hyper-intelligent sentient being. So it's literally like creating an Einstein who comes into existence inside a prison cell. And is immediately imbued with all of the knowledge that he could possibly have or need. And absolutely nothing to do with any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's I'm so excited.
There's two things that could have happened to him after the D crashed.
After he got that dick.
After he got the D with a countess. One was a story that never actually got made, but was pitched. That was Voyager. And there was going to be a bit of prequel stuff at the start that showed Quark coming in possession of stuff that was scavenged from the crashed D and selling it to Harry Kim.
I remember you telling me about this, yeah.
Yeah, and Harry Kim activates it on Voyager, and then Moriarty takes Voyager. Never got done as a story.
Oh man, that would have been so cool. I mean, I'm glad they didn't, because that story definitely would have ended with Moriarty going off into the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
The
other one that people say Moriarty is in, that's a Voyager episode, is Reg Barclay has a cube that is the same prop as they fake imprisoned Moriarty in. So when he thinks he's flying off, he gets thrown in a cube, and Reg Barclay has that in the back of his office in a Voyager episode. That's not necessarily the same cube, because that prop is reused.
I guess we'll find out.
And times again. Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So I've got there is an interview with whatever this dude's actual name is. That does have spoiler stuff. And if you want to go through it, because I would say it is on the heavy side of spoilers.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think it is at least. So potentially it'd be stuff that I wouldn't want to know. No, it was something he did on Reddit, a dude on Reddit.
Right, okay. Send me the link to that. Just because we won't talk about it in the episode, but like,
yeah,
I might just read it. I might see how far I can read before I go, no.
Okay.
But yeah, the actor's name is
Daniel Davis. Yes. Yeah. So on the interview, as well as the spoiler stuff that you potentially want to avoid that we won't say here, then he talks about the first time meeting Pat Stewart, and then going back to meeting Pat Stewart again, and his filming of this season, and being able to hang out and talk about their future plans, because they're both theatre boys, and stuff like that. But I won't say any of the spoilers then, and even my theory of what he's doing there is not related to spoilers, so I can
Okay.
may even say that.
So what do you reckon he's doing there?
So before we do my theory.
Okay, yeah. What's the other big reveal?
Is Law is back.
Oh, of course. Yes. Well, I mean, we kind of. I think that was something that we already assumed was going to happen.
So we knew Brent Spiner was going to be back in some form. It was either going to be the human from Picard season 3, Agnes, or some stupid name soon, or a Law, or another B4 or some shit like that. But we know it's Law. He's got a very human-y face. He's got skin, it looks like to me. And he comes face to face with Geordi in the same sort of location, I would say, as Moriarty is in.
Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely a big set piece.
Yeah.
There. So
I've got two theories. I've got the theory that Law is one of the big bads of the series, and the way to defeat Law would be getting the computer to make a Moriarty.
Okay, that's good.
It is a being. It is an intelligence that can defeat Data, so it will be able to defeat Law.
And the computer is just going to go, well, actually, we already have one of those.
Yeah, I've got one of these on file.
Yeah, we have this. I think you know him.
Yeah,
he certainly knows you.
Yeah. My second dodgy theory is, can you remember, and hopefully, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Oh my God! Is Rufus gonna?
Unfortunately, not. Slightly dead. But the bit where they're in hell and they're going to different rooms and meeting like their old, like this teacher that put them down.
Crosby.
So then we get Sealer. Then we get Law. Then we get Moriarty.
Oh my God! Is it a mind palace?
That's my other theory, that it is mind palaced, or of the like, where they're bogus journeyed into seeing their old villains in some form somehow. Man. So the other ones I could think of, other than Sealer, were Gulmared or Madred, to bring back the 4 lights, 5 lights guy.
Tomalak.
Damon Bach.
Damon Bach.
Damon Bach. So I'd like that as well. It is excessively fan serving, but you can do it naturally through bogus journeying it to some degree. So those are my other wild swings for the season.
My guess is that putting on my Sherlock Holmes hat, perhaps Moriarty.
Something is afoot.
Well, perhaps Moriarty has, just been doing some Moriarty stuff. Perhaps Moriarty is the real big bad of the series, and he's been pulling strings behind the scenes, like the real life James Moriarty. If we are to play the game, which is I'm not gonna. In fact, no. No, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say it because, like, first of all, the game.
Yeah, I've lost the game.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. But there is another thing called the game.
The Michael Douglas film.
No, it's a thing that Sherlock Holmes fans do, where they like live life pretending that Sherlock Holmes was real.
Oh, it sounds exhausting.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to spoil the game. But then I realized that I already did that. And then sorry, viewers. Sorry to any millennial or Gen X viewers that are watching this.
Yeah, you lost the game, unfortunately.
But I lose it all the time because of Sherlock Holmes.
So. Every time I watch Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. It's a good film. It's a real good film.
I could never bring myself to watch it because of its title.
Yeah. The other reveal. There's one more reveal, let's say. We've seen the Titan A is in this series. In this trailer, we see whatever its name is, the Picard season 1 ship that was crashed in season 2. La Serena. There we go. Thank you. Raffi seems to still be on that. We also see the USS Enterprise F in this.
Yes, it's a Star Trek Online ship. Yes,
it is. So more stuff picked out of Reddit and picture online of the shared thing from Reddit. So Thomas Marone, the associate art director for Star Trek Online, had the privilege, he says, of rebuilding the Odyssey model for its appearance in Picard. It is a new model. It's from scratch, rebuilt from scratch.
From scratch, get fucked.
I built some things from scratch and I rebuilt it, you know.
It's from scratch, shish.
Yeah. With all new textures in as well. And they'll be bringing the version from Picard into the game in the future.
This is what we were saying. Like, they didn't have to copy and paste the same ship a million times at the end of Picard. They have so many Starship assets.
Yeah.
Like, that guy probably messaged them and was like, guys, we have hundreds of ships, assets, digital assets that you could have used. You didn't.
Yeah. Left hand meet right hand, you know, we're all on the same thing.
Hello.
Yeah. So yeah, he shared a picture as well of the rebuilt ship re-rendered. So that's on screen at the moment if you're watching us.
Yeah, man. It's a nice ship. I like it. It's got like the overall aesthetic of the Enterprise E, but it's got the kind of curves of the Enterprise D. I like it.
Yeah. It looks like we get a launch ceremony for it. You know, there are fireworks going off, or what would you call fireworks in the space? I don't know. Space fireworks going off around Starbase 1. And that seems to be around the time that it's launched. So we get to see the launch. God only knows what happened to the E. It's not there anymore. God only knows what happens to the Titan. It's not there anymore.
Stripped for parts, mate. Stripped for parts. They've all been repurposed.
Yeah. So yeah, we get that as well. Was there anything from the trailer that you wanted to mention, or have we just got the news afterwards?
Nothing else. It's literally just that is definitely, weirdly enough, Picard season 3 in the next go round of series at the minute, aside of course from season 2 of Strange New Worlds. But yeah, of these 3, I'm the most excited for Picard.
Yeah, I as I say, I like to keep an open mind. Season 1 and 2 of Picard did not thrill me too much. 2 was worse than 1 in my opinion. But I am keep myself infused. The only other news around Picard was in the panels afterwards. They were talking about it possibly not being the last, hurrah for the TNG.
Yeah. I saw that. I found the panel quite difficult to watch, just because, all the cast of TNG, they're all so charming and snarky, and
Frakes doing, after the panel as well, Star Trek, the Twitter put online the trailer, link to the trailer, and it was like the final journey, and he responded, maybe not final.
I like that. I like that one, because that's they had that talk on stage about, I reckon we've still got film in us, and then immediately he tweets that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. But the whole panel in general, I found quite tiresome. Probably as tiresome as people find me.
Yeah. When it's terrible, but Certis does wear me out when you see her on a panel.
She's just getting more and more like a Guy Ritchie character as the years go by. She just gets more and more gruff London accent, like oh.
But she reminds me of I work with someone at the moment. We just had one of the reasons why we couldn't film last week, or the big reason why we couldn't film, is I was at work get together, and someone who always has to have like a point on everyone else's, like someone's talking, it's like, I've got an example of that, and you're like, you don't need to have an example for every single thing that's said. It's fine to let one or two go. And Certis is like that to me, where it just reminds me where like they ask Dawn a question or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, my friend Dawny," and you're like,
"Shut up,
Dawn, answer."
This is the thing. See, I'm quite like that, but I do a lot of work. I've had to work on myself. I've had to learn how to teach myself to not talk.
Yeah.
However, other people that exist in the world, instead of doing that, have just continuously been handed microphones.
Yeah. This one, as I say, so tired after the work event, and some of what was tiring me out was this person chipping in constantly. And
energy
then saying,
vampire.
Well, not an energy vampire, just like the path of a conversation. You know, if it's not turning towards their house, then they're not happy with it. So it'd be like, and then they'd chip in and go, "We're having two conversations here." It'd be like, "Yeah, we're having the conversation we were having, and then you're talking to someone else about your conversation that spun off it."
And that's fine.
For 2 seconds, we'd be on the conversation.
Or you two can just have that conversation. That's fine.
But they chip in, be like, "No, people need to listen to the conversation we're having." And it's like, no. We've got precious, the faster we finish this, the faster we're in the pub and the restaurant and doing like actual stuff.
See, I think I think Marina Sirtis would be a fucking right laugh. Like
in small doses.
In small doses.
I'd have a couple of drinks with Sirtis. I
was about to say, two drinks. I would definitely need 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna have 2 drinks, I would want to be around Marina Sirtis when I'm guessing she's probably going to want to be about 6 drinks in. Yeah, I reckon Marina Sirtis 6 drinks in is probably about the same as me 2 drinks in. So
yeah, we're fooling each other anyway. Like, what's the chance Sirtis would, not run away from a bar if we were at the same bar?
Mate, we are very handsome.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
That was inappropriate.
That was, and it is cut. I'll leave this bit in, talking about how we've just cut something inappropriate. It's not the inappropriate stuff that you're thinking of. It's other inappropriate stuff. Yeah. Did you have anything else on Picard?
No. Did anything else Star Trek related happen in the past week? Oh yeah.
Oh,
this
the episode.
Thing.
Yeah. So, congratulations, you've got to the point in this podcast where Ethan and I will both run out of energy. So last week as well, on normal Star Trek day, there was an episode of Lower Decks called A Mathematically Perfect Redemption. Non-spoilery, what did you think of the episode?
It's pretty naff.
Yeah.
Pretty naff. I don't think it's spoilery to say that this is a Peanut Hamper episode.
Yeah.
If you don't remember Peanut Hamper is the what they called the exocomp, little replicator droid. With a shitty personality.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that I don't mean shitty personality as in like badly written personality. I mean shitty personality as in like Peanut Hamper is a dick.
Yeah. So from those who can't remember, in the finale of season 1, the Cerritos is getting cut open by Packleds, and they've got a plan to, we just need someone to fly through space and deliver this. Peanut Hamper, you can do that. You don't need to breathe in space. And she goes, fuck that shit. I'm out. you deal. Yeah, I'm not flying in to risk my life, sort of thing. So that was when we last saw her. I thought this episode, maybe it's middle of a trilogy of episode, like that sort of lull. But I thought it was eminently skippable.
Yes.
If you miss this, you will, do not worry. Do not worry. Yes. Don't feel bad about it. It has no impact, or will probably have no impact until the season 4 or 5 episode, and then it'll have a previously on to catch you up. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Basically, I did think that it was weird that this episode. Are we still in spoilers? Are we still in non-spoilers?
Do you want me to do episode review quickly, and then we can spoil, and then we can close this motherfucker down?
Sure. Because honestly, without spoilers, I've got nothing to say about this episode.
Yeah. Okay.
It was lukewarm at best.
Right. So, episode review. Following the battle of season 1 against the Packlids, in no small parts of the episode, Peanut Hamper, the exocomper, has been left drifting in space. To get somewhere and to escape a Dromani scavengers, she builds herself a warp nacelle, warps off, and crashes into a primitive bird planet. Peanut can't send a distress call without being thrown in jail for desertion, so she's stuck on the planet. Rhoda, the village elder's son, gets tasked with looking after her, like a Avatar or Dances with Wolves situation. Peanut proves herself. She gets raw-dogged by Rhoda, who shows her an old spaceship their ancestors once used. She's about to marry him when the scavenger ship turns up to steal the spaceships. Peanut Hamper goes to sacrifice herself like she should have done in the end of season 1 of Lower Decks. The Cerritos arrives, and we find out that she invited the scavengers to take the ship so she could pull off a sacrificing her show to get back in Starfleet. Rhoda saves the day with another old ship, and Peanut refuses to do the sacrifice play for a second time. Gets arrested, gets thrown in jail with Agnes, the Jeffrey Coombs evil robot.
I smiled at the end there. That's right at the end.
Yeah.
Right at the end, I smiled.
Yeah, that bit where it is it's potentially setting up. Yeah. Potentially setting up that they're going to come back and team up against the Cerritos. That's fun. That's why this feels like middle of a trilogy, lull, where it's gone. Okay, we had a good first episode. Mm-hmm. We know where we want to be for the third episode. We've got to.
Yeah, we want Peanut Hamper with Jeffrey Coombs.
Yeah, we've just got to do that connective tissue sort of stuff, and that's all this felt of. It wasn't great. What did you have for spoilers though?
Spoilers. The bird people are stupid. First of all, bird person.
Yeah.
All I could think of was, why aren't these people talking in a stupid voice?
Yeah.
Second of all, they have arms and wings.
Mm. They're like pterodactyl-y, aren't they?
No, because
do they have both?
The thing, see, this is the thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because, fair enough if they're being portrayed as highly alien.
Yeah.
Totally different winged creatures, but they're being presented as birds.
Yeah.
And this means that they have 6 limbs. And
bit weird.
That annoyed me. There's the one bit that I did like was a reference to the animated series.
That you're like discount whatever.
Yep, you're the poor man's Aurelians.
Okay, yeah.
But again, Aurelians also had arms and wings, which, like, this is definitely leftover trauma from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones
They're
has
wyverns.
dragons. They're fucking wyverns.
It's called House of Wyverns. I think you'll find
it absolutely is House of Wyverns for people who maybe aren't British or aren't into fantasy.
Yeah.
Dragons have 4 legs and wings. Wyverns or wyverns have winged arms, like actual winged creatures.
Yeah.
But yeah,
let's excuse House of Dragons. In the House of Game of Thrones universe, wyverns are called dragons and dragons are called wyverns. Done.
What were we talking about? These fucking stupid, this bullshit.
And they do joke about it in it where like the dude is saying, "Oh, it's a sky snake," and Peanut Hamper is like saying it's pretty reductive. Either it's a snake to you, or every creature's got wings. It's a snake to you, or.
Like the biggest problems that I had with this episode were one, why is this episode happening? Why is it from the point of view of Peanut Hamper? I don't care about any of this. And 2, this is the Going Native story. This is literally like the worst version of the Going Native story I've ever seen.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, I would say this is worse than The Last Samurai.
No, I'm thinking the episode of TOS. I'm thinking in Star Trek.
No. This is worse than that because TOS still has the noble. It still has the noble savage trope. This replaces the noble savage by implying that the ignoble savage, or the savage that takes up the advanced technology, is actually smarter than the noble savage. So this not only shows a colonialist, the point of view character, betrays the people and introduces a heavy dose of colonialism to their ecosystem. Yeah. But it also implies that the natives are wrong. And that they should utilize
technology.
They require the technology as exemplified by their prince. So I would say this is worse.
Okay. Yeah, I 100% understand where you're coming from. For me, it being birds rather than very clear Native Americans in the Paradise Syndrome, it's better. It's less racist.
It definitely has that.
It's less racist towards a race, but it is. I get what you're saying, and I take it on board.
In terms of execution,
it is more racist in that the savages. That's why I put when I did the episode description, I put a primitive bird planet because they're not primitive. They live very happily.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. In terms of execution in production, yes, the TOS episode is much worse for all the makeup and everything. But in terms of metaphor, I think this one is worse. Because it's the whole noble savage trope at least has noble. At least has noble in it. Like this. This is like it portrays the natives as wrong, ultimately wrong in their point of view, in their way of life. Like, yeah.
If I was to really try and devil's advocate it, they only need technology when faced with technology. They have a perfect they have a perfect existence pretty much. I'm devil's advocate. I'm fucking my own point over because when he said, "Oh, only some of these babies come to term," and then Peanut Hamper comes in and just technologies all the eggs, so all the babies hatch. Yeah, fuck this episode.
Yeah, that she don't have to do that.
Yeah.
What if they do? What if that's too many children?
Well,
What if they
you
don't
make
have
it
enough
traditional.
food to feed all those fucking children?
No,
What
but
if
just on your
what if
metaphor
all
point of
those children grow up to be? Oh yeah, well, I forgot about the fucking prime directiveness of everything. What if all of those children turn into baby Hitlers?
but on your metaphor where it's like, oh, these people, children die, and you know, it's an appeal to emotion where it's like, ideally, no children die of any species. That doesn't happen in real life.
Realistically, some
You can't
children
have
will
that.
die.
Yeah. Ideally, you want sentient things that will grow into sentient beings to survive.
Based on what?
Yeah, I know.
Based on what?
But for her to go like, I have cured infant mortality rates in your village with technology. It's yeah, as you say, it's against that noble savage. They have things to teach her.
Yeah.
Sort of trope.
And like, you know, and then like I say, the practicality of it. What if the fucking kids? What if there's too many mouths to feed now? What if they were gonna eat some of those eggs?
Yeah. Was there anything in the episode you did like?
The TAS mention JG Hertzler back as the voice of that alien that we drew.
Drukmani.
Jeffrey Combs as Agamus.
Mm-hmm. Any laughs?
When Jeffrey Combs came in at the end.
Okay.
I smiled.
Yeah.
Literally nothing made me laugh out loud. Yeah.
The only things that got me approaching laughing, and the first time I watched it, this was 4 a.m, so I was slightly drunk at the very least, was the bird stuff where it, you know, she's going round and you think she's redeemed and being like the doctor to this village, and she talks to a bird person, says, you know, oh, how are you feeling now? And he goes, oh, my fecal matter was oily and white. that got me, you know, that made me go like, huh. And the same with when she's flying with Rhoda, and she goes, sing for me, and he goes, caw. That got me like, that made me
yeah. Let me sing to you the song of my people.
Yeah. out of minor exhaustion,
yeah,
maybe I had a laugh.
Oh, actually, the bit that did maybe funny is when they had sex.
Yeah.
That was funny. They're like, how are we gonna do it? And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, surely you're a replicator droid.
Yeah.
Surely you can, there's a hatch.
Can fix this.
There's a hatch. You like, she's like, when he says, how do we even? She's like, we'll figure it out.
Well,
like,
she could replicate a fleshlight for all it mattered.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's 100% what happened, right?
I wonder if that sentence has ever been said before. She could replicate a fleshlight.
Replicate a fleshlight inside her. That is 100% what happened. Picture that bird person fucking a lunchbox. That's what happened.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Harken back to the internet of the early 2000s and remember that time you saw a man fucking a box.
I think we were on different internets.
Oh, man, I was on the wrong side of the internet.
Yeah. Was there anything else to talk about in this episode?
One thing that I liked was like when we cut back to the Cerritos, I was like, whoa, Boimler and Freeman are at the Khan and Helm station, like on the bridge, just like that might be the like only time we've actually seen them just like day-to-day tasks, not like with like a job they've been assigned, but like on day-to-day bridge tasks.
So sometimes they're on the bridge, but this is the first time where it's been just them, you know, doing generic.
Yeah. Just like
just
bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop. Yeah. Whoa, hey, what the fuck? What's going on? Peanut Hamper just dropped into our DMs.
Yeah. Here's one for you. Were you was there any point where you thought Peanut Hamper she is going to redeem herself? Did you buy into her ruse at all?
I don't know that she will. I don't think that.
No, like not in the future, but in this episode. Did you?
In this episode, I don't think I thought about it because I think the whole time I was just thinking, "What the fuck is this?
It's racist." Yeah,
this is bullshit. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I think that she definitely. I mean, this is two betrayals now. And so she's got a choice. She can either go full evil, which I think is what we're going to get, or she's going to have to mend some bridges. She's going to have to take a leaf out of fucking Shatnerface's book. She keeps betraying people. No one's going to want to talk to her when they are on their deathbed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I think I maybe got
Did you think? Were you just sat there the whole time going, "When's she going to betray them? When's she going to betray them?"
Well, no, I was like, I was, let's say, multiple beers in, watching it first time, multiple beers, a couple of bottles of wine and other stuff, in watching it. And I thought, because it is just aligned to that noble savage trope, I was like, okay, gonna get redeemed. And she's redeemed herself by flying the shuttle and doing all that. And then I was like, oh, this is smart. She's, it's all to try and get back on the ship.
Yeah.
So
actually,
the emotional intelligence of a drunk man is where this episode was at.
Yeah, essentially, that's a perfect metaphor for this episode. Is this episode feels like it was written by a drunk man, half paying attention, ignoring the racist metaphor.
Yeah, that was me on Thursday night.
Clearly, these guys at the wheel. That's the thing. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes there are moments in Lower Decks where I think yes, a joke is a joke, and in some ways, you got to do whatever for the laugh. But we are dealing with Trekkies here, and the production process for one of these episodes is so long.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's crazy to me to think that at no point in the production process does anyone go, I get that we're doing a treatise.
Avatar.
I get that we're doing a treatise on Dances with Wolves. But I think that we maybe might be making it worse.
Yeah. But before you pointed out to me, I do agree with you about it being the worst case of the noble savage, in that they aren't the right ones in that situation. I was like, this would fit okay in a 26 episode season.
Yeah.
But it is so weird to have, other than as a setup to a trilogy, a third episode, it's so weird when you've got 10 episodes per season. You've only just really had a second episode on two of the main characters, Rutherford and Tilly. Not Tilly.
And we're so close to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Now is not the time for this kind of filler.
Yeah. It felt very weird for me. Tendi, not Tilly. Fucking hell, It felt very weird to be like, oh no, here's an episode where they're not in it. It's so weird. What else can we say, really? What else can we say?
Next week's episode looks fucking sick.
Yeah, so next week's one, there are pictures, again, up here at the moment.
Yeah.
Screen caps from this week, and it looks like that it's the third episode in that holodeck series. So where they're doing a holodeck mission, a movie.
Yeah. They're doing movie parody.
Yeah.
And we're getting a return of, this is the scene that we got previewed on stage at on Star Trek Day. Boimler's transporter clone. Is that what he is?
No.
Why do I keep thinking he's a transporter clone?
I don't know. You're going mad. It is. So it's the part 3. The episode is whatever, part 3. And part 1 and 2 were both set on a holodeck.
Yeah.
And this one, it's the lower deckers holodecking them into another action movie style thing.
I've already had this conversation with someone else.
Me?
I think no, you and someone else.
Yeah.
Like, we have had this conversation on the show. I keep, for some reason, thinking that this scene that they previewed on Star Trek Day is a Boimler's mirror of his transporter clone.
Yeah. If he's back, I think it's going to be finale, the transporter clone. It might just be a next season thing they return to. If that's the episode, then
I'd say so.
Then let me round up. If you're watching us on YouTube and prefer an audio format, we are podcast as well. If you're on the podcast and have missed all our pictures I've been throwing up, we have the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Leave a rating, ideally with some stars on. But if you just want to, kick us while we're down, then fine. While we're low energy. Man.
Yeah, if you leave bad comments, that's still audience engagement. It's fine.
Yeah. As we were after comments before, the spookiest.
Yeah, man.
What the couch?
Yeah, man. What gave you a weird fit? What gave you the willies?
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and round us off. What was the message of this week, and what was the
reoccurring theme of this week for sure? I think is don't be a cunt.
Yeah.
Don't be a cunt, or your friends will want to speak to you in their final moments. Yes. Like Shatner, and don't be like Shatner, and don't be like Peanut Hamper. Don't use
very similar characters. Yeah.
Absolutely. Live fast and get fucked or whatever.
What was mine? I'm so fucking tired.
I'm trying.
Peace and long life, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm trying out different ones.
Yeah, I'm just tired. Peace and long life. Double dumbasses. There we go.